Okay, so not what you are going to expect, especially in my channel, but here is a thing that you really, really, really need to talk to your doctor about. And it is an unexpected side effect of problems, when hard times happen. So before I continue, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. So thank you very much. I really appreciate that one. So here it goes. You do know that a lot of people is preparing for bad things, right? And they do that by buying canned food. After all, that way, you don't have to cook and you can eat straight from the can. And basically, you don't even have to worry about smells or whatever. But here's the deal. Canned food are made out of metal. And here's the second problem. You are going to be throwing that, canned food in the trash can and in the trash, bins or whatever. And everyone else is going to be doing the same. Maybe not every single person, but a lot of people will be doing the same. And here's the thing. Trash services are not coming. I mean, if it's really bad times, they're not coming. Not on the schedule, and definitely not, in a daily basis or weekly basis or whatever. Hell, for all I know, you can get trash services once a month, if you're lucky. So, here's the thing. There is something that will, that will be bad, and that will be that most people will have no water either. And when you are eating from the canned food, usually you have left, food in it. That means that animals are going to try to tear, trash bags and stuff to try to get to that food because they can smell it. Now, when animals are, trying to lick things out of the trash can, they are going to cut themselves into that trash can. Which is why, some people are going to start, saying, please rinse them, because that way, you can save the animals. But that's not the main issue. It's not just that you are going to be killing animals that now are going to be hurt, and the animals are going to be bleeding all over the place, wherever the hell that is. The problem is that this will bring tetanus. And if there is a situation in which tetanus is present, tetanus is like a bacteria thing. And it won't go away. And the worst part is that it will kill you in minutes or in seconds sometimes. And it is bad. I don't know if you have seen the documentaries about that thing, but if you are worried, about the quarantine now, the COVID or whatever, oh hell, that is nothing compared to one of those things. And here's why. For a virus or something, you can kind of do certain things. You can wash your hands, you can be more clean, whatever. But if you're fighting something that it is in metal, and something that it is in the trash, and something that it is on the street, I mean, it's just, for all you have your kid, playing in the backyard, and they are going to be touching things in the ground. And for all somebody threw one of those cans into your backyard because, they don't want it in their backyard or whatever. So now you have a contaminated thing with tetanus where your kid plays. And then there is nothing you can do about it. You can't wash his hands. You can't, just go into an ER and say, hey, try to help him or whatever. It's just, I'm sorry. But, I am not for or against vaccines. I'm not a doctor, but you really need to take a closer look at this. I think that nobody has come up with any way to defeat this thing. And if there are animals that are bleeding and they are eating out of the cans from everybody in your neighborhood, you're going to have an epidemic of that. We kind of did in a point, but then the government was really freaked out because, you can't have, everyone dying in a week, or because, it's just one of those things. So most people use, in fact, every time that you get a cut, the first thing that they ask you, even here in the hospital, is, do you have a tetanus shot? So my question is, do you know when you had your last tetanus shot? Because you have to give it to yourself every 10 years or so. You need to talk to your doctor. Because this is one of those things that nobody tells you, and then you need to, if bad things happen, there are not going to be enough of those things to go around. Even in my country, they had to import that thing, and it was huge, and it was a problem, So if you believe that there are going to be hard times, and if you believe that there are going to be a lot of metal trash, and there are going to be a lot of metal kind of cuts, and there are going to be, bacteria all over the place because of, trash, or because, lack of water and services and stuff like that, then you really need to ask your doctor about this. And you really need to figure out when was the last time that you got one. And you really need to figure out if you can get one. And even your family members or whatever, because you need to watch the documentaries about that thing, and you need to learn. For example, for cholera, you can wash your hands, you can, use protection, you can do a lot of things. But for cuts, what the hell do you do against cuts? There is nothing that you can do against a cut. Literally nothing. If you cut yourself, you cut it. That's it. Not even wearing gloves will protect you from a freaking, cut. And then you're going to go through hell. So why bother? Just think about it, talk to your doctor, and I hope that this tip, helps you out, because quite frankly, I think it's important, and you might not think about it, but you need to think about the fact that your chance of you being killed by a bullet during hard times is, high, but depending upon where you are, but it is not as high as you getting a cut. You are getting a cut 100% sure during hard times. I don't care what the hell you do. I don't care if you live alone in your house. I don't care if you don't go out. I don't care about anything. You have to use a knife. You have to, you are eating canned food. You are doing a lot of things. And by the way, also, people are not going to be washing the canned food. And you know what happens to canned food? Yeah, rats and a lot of animals will go through that when you are sleeping, and even in the storage, and they will pee on this can. And if you're thinking you do not need to wash it, oh hell, you are going to in for a little bit of something called leptospirosis thing. Yeah, and that can also kill you. And guess what? 99% of people will think, yeah, it's protected by paper or whatever. Yeah, right. Because, pee is, solid, so it won't go, through paper or whatever. Yeah, right. So, you know better, right? You need to wash the freaking canned food, and you need to rinse it after you use it. But guess what? You know this now. But how many people will know? How many people will do it? If you're sparing water for only drinking, how many people are going to do that? So you really need to consider these two things, because it's just the way things are. You can be prepared as hell, but you need to think that nobody else around you, nobody is prepared. Even if you are in a group of preppers, I can assure you that things will be missed. Why? Because if you haven't been there, you probably don't expect things that happen. And there is also something called, life. And life doesn't play by your rules or your order. Life just happens. So think about these two things. Think about this. I mean, we are in the 20th, century. And right now, instead of, we having, flying cars or whatever, we're teaching people how the hell to wash their hands because nobody knows how to wash their freaking hands. And do you really think that this is going to be, easy for people to just wash the freaking canned food before they open it and just get the freaking tetanus shot if they need to, because, you are going to be dealing with a lot of trash that is metal. And there is something called tetanus. And then there is cholera. But cholera, at least, cholera and diphtheria and all those things, at least those you can get, prevention because you can control it. But a cut? Come on, you not having a cut is like you going through your entire life not having a flu. It's just not happening. You are getting a cut and you are getting a flu, no matter what. So you need to think about this and talk to your doctor about it. And maybe even, do research about what are the most common diseases where bad things happen. And then, see if those affect your area. Because some places are going to be different than others. So thank you for watching.